It's the Harris Football Podcast with your host, Christopher Harris.
Welcome! Hey, everybody! Welcome in! My name is Chris, and I haven't shouted like that for 2 months. Hello there. Oh my goodness, what is up? We are back. Thank you for being here. It's July. It's time. We are a podcast once more. It's truly my honor to get to talk to you. It's been exactly 2 months to the day since we did our most recent main show. That's a lot of time. I wonder, has anything happened in the world in the past exactly 2 months that maybe I wouldn't have foreseen? Wait, no, don't tell me. I'm going to open this envelope here. Wait, we're going to open this envelope. I wrote myself a letter predicting the future. Let's see. It says here, Brandon Ayuk acting totally normal. U.S. soccer team alive and well in the World Cup. A.J. Brown still on the Eagles. Myles Garrett still on the Browns. How'd I do? Well, there has been some excitement since May 7th, the last time that I did a show here on the free side, but yeah, there really isn't that much NFL excitement right now. We are certainly in the NFL dead period where the league can't even pretend to gin up a story to have Stephen A. shouting about. They've already suckered us into believing that releasing their regular season schedule deserves a week of coverage. But in early July, even the NFL guys are like wandering around the big computer at league headquarters, spinning dials and checking over their shoulder to see if we care. Hey, Brendan Sorsby isn't going to be in the supplemental draft. Is that anything? No, that is not anything. But the good news is, because we take a couple months off here on the show, we have not completely blown our takes. And we can get started fresh on the new league year and on our fantasy football leagues for 2026. And truly, I am very stoked to be talking with you here today. This will be the first of 8 shows here in July, 2 per week, 1 show for each NFL division in which we preview training camps. The episodes will come out Tuesdays and Fridays. Now, for those of you in the Yacht Club, you'll keep getting an extra episode on Mondays as well. If you haven't yet listened to Monday's Yacht Club episode, it was, in fact, another episode of Stinky and the Pooh. That's right, while everybody else was sleeping, my fictitious sports radio talk show became a real thing. I am Stinky, Andy Behrens is the Pooh, and, every so often we do our own hot takes on the other side there, sports and NFL and stuff like that. Yesterday was fun. But anyway, here on the main show, Tuesdays and Fridays through July, and then by August, we'll be back to 4 episodes per week on the free side and 1 with Andy, and we will set the stage for our fantasy drafts, which are coming in less than 2 months. It should be, once again, a really fun ride. So even beside the show coming back, I have a lot of stuff going on. There's a new almanac coming out. First edition comes out August 1st. More on that in a moment. There's also my novel that I mentioned before we went on hiatus, Pound Foolish. That's officially going to be coming out September 1st, but it is done. It's got a cover. I'm excited to tell you lots more about it. You'll be able to pre-order it here pretty soon, and I'll tell you about that when I have that worked out. And I'm going to be doing a mini tour. Many folks who listen to this show wrote in to volunteer to help with a reading tour, and I have taken a few of them up on it. We're going to do a few events at the end of August on the West Coast, where I've never, other than LA, never done any events at all. I'll be announcing those soon as well. Pound Foolish. Did I mention the title? Pound Foolish. Pound Foolish. Not that I'm trying to get you to remember what it's called. Pound Foolish. It's about football. It's a murder mystery. There's a serial killer. He might actually be on the professional team. It's a sequel of sorts to my very first book, Slotback Rhapsody. If you read that one, Mouse is back. So I think the topic should be right up everybody here's alley. And actually, right here, right now, you all can continue assisting me to hopefully spread the word about the new book. It's my first new book since 2018, and I am publishing this book myself. I did mention this back in May. I am the publisher. I started a publishing company specifically to publish this book. Do you remember what I called my new publishing company?
Cumulative. That's what I want to say.
That's right. It's called Cumulative Press. I say that word so much better these days. So I truly, as you can imagine, need all the help I can get. Whatever ownership any of you wanted to help spread the word here would be great. So actually, right now, I'm asking you, I'm quite literally asking if you have ideas for, people you think should interview me about this book, or people I should pitch to do like a review or print an excerpt. I'm talking podcasts or YouTube channels or print publications or websites. Any idea that you have for me that I can approach and see if they're willing to help cover Pound Foolish, please write me right now while you're thinking about it. I would love the assistance. heyharris@harrisfootball.com. And then, of course, there is also an almanac. I have been doing so much writing because not only is there a new novel, but there is a new novel-length preview of the 2026 fantasy season. I wrote it. The profiles are done. I'm finishing up the grades and the ranks ranges, and cousin Josh is adding his touches this week. It's all coming together, and you can pre-order that right now at harrisfootball.com. I think I originally mentioned that I hoped there was a way I could sell you like a bundle of the book and the almanac together, and unfortunately I just have not been able to figure out how to make that happen because I'm not going to be sending out individual copies of the book. I just can't do it. So you're going to have to order the book online, and that just complicates it way too much to try to do a bundle. So if you're able, you'll be able to get them separately. I know maybe not everybody has the disposable income to be buying two things from me within a few weeks. I completely get that. Whatever you can do, I appreciate it so much. The price of the almanac will be the same as last year, $22. That's been the same price since it's come back from COVID when I didn't write it there for a couple of years. It will get delivered to anybody who pre-orders it on August 1st. It officially has the number 233 player profiles, not counting defenses. I am proud of it. I think it'll make you laugh. And as I occasionally do here and there, let's read you a profile. We are talking NFC South on the podcast today. But actually, we're not going to talk that much about Tyler Shough, the Saints quarterback. So let's read Tyler Shough's profile. Tyler Shough is so old, his social security number is 1. Tyler Shough is so old, he has a picture of Moses in his high school yearbook. He's so old, he used to babysit Yoda. He's so old, his game film says directed by Orson Welles. And oh, I am touching my fictional earpiece and am being told he turns 27 in September. That's not so very old after all. I can't tell you I'm positive Shough is the Saints franchise quarterback for the next decade. He started half a season for a team that was already 1-7. His wins in 2025 came against the Panthers twice, Buccaneers, Jets, and Titans. We might look back at his decent rookie campaign and feel like we were watching Gardner Minshew circa 2019. But I can tell you when an analyst says the main reason Shough is doomed to fail is that he's 2 years older than Bryce Young or whatever, that's pretty silly. Who cares? Do we think because he played so long in college, Shough's brain got cooked and he simply can't learn anything new? Do we think because he probably won't play 15 years in the NFL, he's worthless? How'd Anthony Richardson entering the NFL at age 20 go? Shough's rookie tape was most interesting for his escapability. Right away in that first Panthers game, you saw him wriggle free from a sure sack. You had a great scramble and an off-platform throw. Suddenly, the Saints' offensive line didn't look so terrible when it had someone who moved around efficiently in the pocket. And when Shough got clean looks, he was nails. Chris Olave perked up and went crazy in the fantasy playoffs, 352 yards, 4 touchdowns. As Shough proved, he throws a mean spot fade. No question, whatever Superflex appeal he has is enhanced by his wheels. He didn't post huge rushing numbers in 2025, but Shuck's mobility to throw can easily translate to 400 rush yards and 6 rushing touchdowns. But as I keep saying in these quarterback profiles, he'll need to do all the other quarterbacking stuff well to keep the job so as not to torpedo you on a day when he doesn't run. I have some doubts. There were times when Shuck looked like an unnecessary check-down king. But if it turns out the Saints didn't find their next great quarterback in the draft's second round, I truly don't believe it'll be because he's so old that he was a waiter at the Last Supper. And then for Shuck, you also get film grades. Yeah, sure, I'll tell you. In his case, I gave him arm strength of B+, accuracy grade of B, like pretty generous grading, I think. Vision, B. Running, B. And for situation, I gave him a C+. Anyway, I know a lot of you have gotten the almanac in the past. I do appreciate that. If you'd like, you can pre-order right now. Set my little mind at ease at harrisfootball.com.
Today's kickoff.
Okay, as I mentioned, we're kicking off our training camp previews by talking teams of the NFC South. So that will be Panthers, Buccaneers, Falcons, and Saints. To help me with that,
hello,
it'll be Jim McCormick. We'll talk about the things we will and won't pay attention to when training camps for those teams start up. I think it'll be fun, and I'm so thrilled to have you here listening today. We are sponsored again this season by my good friends at Lisa, the folks who make the mattress I sleep on, the mattress I wrote today's show on, the mattress I probably wrote about half the almanac profiles on. I love my bed. I have the queen size Lisa original. They've got hybrids, cooling mattresses, kids' beds, tons of selection. If you've woken up stiff and sore recently and thought, maybe we need a new bed, I've been working with Lisa for about 10 years. They are truly great. I've been sleeping on their bed that long. I love it. They win all the awards. Wirecutter constantly awards them. And if you buy one, they'll let you sleep on it for 4 months to make sure that it's perfect for you. And if it's not, they'll come pick it up and refund you, no questions asked. And it's a great time. If you can act before July 12th, they've still got their July 4th sale going on until this coming Sunday. 30% off select mattresses. LEESA.com. And if you check out using the code Harris, they'll take another $50 off the top. 30% off until Sunday at lisa.com. And for another $50 off, make sure you use that code Harris.
Today's guest.
_ Baron. His jokes make me smile. Lawsuits he's drafted, never meaning to file. Poisons, Rhode Island.
Poisons, Rhode Island? Wait, who did I ask on the show? What in the world? That is, of course, one of the greatest walk-up songs anybody's ever had anywhere on any show ever, because it is the _ Baron, one of the originals on this particular podcast from, dare I say, like 11 years ago, more than 11 years ago, Jim McCormick. You could probably find him some places on social media. He's not really doing. He's educating America. He's educating the youth of Philadelphia, and it's my pleasure and privilege to have him on. Hi, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, I explain what deferred cap hits are to 10-year-olds. And it's just the only way. I mean, and they're just like, they nod their head. They're just like, Howie Roseman did it again. And then, yeah. But this is also at the end of like a pyramid scheme kind of whole thing that we're pulling off. So,
so, I would really in the business, you're a little in the business, you dabble here and there, but mostly you're a teacher and you're working at camp this summer with your kids and you're living a completely different life. But
I am.
I always, this time of year, I know I can get you. Because this just in will reveal a little magic. I may be recording this the evening before it comes out because Jim's busy in the morning. And he's busy lots and lots of mornings, and so you don't get to have him on all that often. We'll sneak him on in August one time, but after that, there's not a lot of chance. But I would do it with you every day if I could. What a pleasure to get to talk to you. And now that we've swapped AJ Brown, I would imagine that you feel great.
I mean, we traded AJ Brown for Jalen Brown. It's the strangest trade. Just disgruntled Browns. Yeah, no, I feel great. I really do. My one contribution to the ESPN Fantasy Magazine was that I drafted both Eagles receivers, and in the chat, people were like, "Why did you draft both Eagles receivers?" I was like, "Guys, wait,
Come on. One will not.
Come on, one will not be here." But yeah, I'm actually really fine with that. I'll miss AJ Brown. I think it was an incredible Eagle, the best Eagles receiver I've ever seen. Particularly because Terrell Owens was doing sit-ups like 18 months into it in his driveway. I also gave Terrell Owens. I cut out he came to my school at one point. I was teaching even back then, and he came to my school, and I carved out a pumpkin with an eagle symbol, and I brought it up, and he was like, "Oh, your kid did this," and I was like, "Yeah, my kid did this." So yeah.
This is Terrell. Don't you appreciate the fine craftsmanship on this thing?
I was like 23. I was like, yeah, sure. My son did this.
My son.
Yeah, but no, I will miss AJ Brown. I do think he's going to have a fun year. So yeah.
All right. Well, we're not talking about him today because I gave you the pick of the litter. You're the leadoff man for the July shows, in which we are going to talk about things that people should and shouldn't pay attention to once the spigot of information overload starts hitting us all in the face. And so my goal in July, as I've already said, is to give everybody a sense of okay, you can safely ignore X and please pay attention to Y. And this just in, we are going to ignore more things than we are going to pay attention to. But I gave you, as we're going to do 8 shows in July, your option. You got all 8 divisions. You can pick whatever you want. Of course, I thought you were going to go NFC East, and you did not. You picked NFC South. Of all the divisions that you could have picked, what was your logic?
It's so murky. It's such a weird division. It's like the 500 division. It's like the Jeff Fisher Memorial. No, he's alive. I mean, the Jeff Fisher honorary division. It's just you can't be 500 anymore, but they'll try. They're going to be like 8.5 and 8.5.
Or 8 and 1, right? 8 and 1, maybe get some ties in there.
That's even better because it's possible. So I picked this division because of its parity, I suppose. It's just interesting to me. There's a lot of change.
Sure,
at least
you just wanted to
in
talk
Atlanta,
about these
at least. Yeah, no, I really do find them interesting, and it's like there's a bunch of they're weird. There's some weird changes going on, and I like it.
And of course, you are the first recipient in 2026 of the legendary fascist email, whose header I have now perfected, and I don't even look at it anymore. I don't even change it. I just copy and paste from the previous year. And I know you love all the bolding and underlining and stuff.
Well, I mean, I have a cheat sheet that I keep, so it's like I already have this laminated, so I'm ready.
All right, good. The warning in the fascist email, of course, is simply to say I don't really need your full take on these players. What I'm really looking for is what you will be paying attention to and not. And the answer of I don't really care what happens to this guy in August as long as he doesn't get hurt is a perfectly fine answer, as you know, and that's where we're headed. We're going to go team by team through the teams of the NFC North, and we'll do them in the order that they finished last year. So that we'll start with the Carolina Panthers, who you may or may not remember won that division last year, quote unquote, by losing. I believe they won by losing. It's actually a good place to start because it feels like the Carolina backfield is a place we actually might find some value, but also just some information, because they let Rico Dowdle walk. They only really signed A.J. Dillon. They had Trevor Etienne around. These are not serious people. I don't know about Etienne, to be honest. A.J. Dillon, definitely not serious, which makes me, and I've written profiles about these guys, it makes me think they might actually be counting on Jonathan Brooks for something. And so therefore, probably there's a lot of ways the news on Brooks could go from the moment Panthers camp ends to the moment they get to the beginning of September that probably could change the way we view him and Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, I mean, this is both things. I mean, look, last year, the best rusher or their top rusher is gone. Obviously, you said that with Dowdle. But I guess my thing with this backfield is that how good was Brooks when he before he got hurt, right? He was already sharing. Who was he sharing with back then? Was it
I mean, he's never played. The problem with Jonathon Brooks is he's just gotten hurt. He came in because he had the torn ACL in college. He was supposed to be like a consensus potentially top 10 pick.
Sure.
And he gets hurt, and so he winds up going in the second round, and then comes in and doesn't play at first. Finally, we get to see what he looks like, and it wasn't a lot.
Right, and he did injured right away. Right. Yeah. I just remember even then, I suppose. It reminds me of then in that it was all about integration with him then. It was all about like snap counts and reading the reports.
Oh, for sure.
I just can't believe that I suppose that's what can change. I suppose that's going to be a really methodical build up to get him back, considering this is like what is the third major injury to his career. So, I mean, to me, it reads like you're just assuming. To me, I assume that it's like a one-man backfield with like that they just like based on how they paid Chuba, or is it Chuba or Chuba? I want to get this right.
We call him Chuba around here, but
Chuba.
I think
that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, it's Chuba.
Chuba. Well, it's a great name.
I mean, I'll just say, like, there's a very clear path that this can take, where if everybody kind of agrees that, oh boy, Jonathon Brooks can't even get off the side field, then I agree with you. Then we're going to get nothing but Chuba Hubbard, and I'm not going to believe anything they say about how great A.J. Dillon looks. I guess maybe a little on Trevor Etienne, it's possible. But if we get the, you know what, Jonathon Brooks, took this whole year off. He missed all of 2025, and as much as we have suspicion that there, he could get hurt again, and the knee may never be right, and it might swell, and who knows? But he's practicing, he's splitting reps with Chuba Hubbard, and this is just kind of the way of the world. He's going to be the Rico Dowdle of this season, and if Hubbard stumbles again, he might be the guy who takes over. Like, there's a way for me. I have Brooks right now like 54th among running backs. That is very low. That's like, very deep flyer type territory. There's a way for me to get him higher in the ranks. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like that kind of news about a person's knee that formerly wasn't attached suddenly is attached. I think you actually kind of can believe that in August.
Yeah, and I suppose we have to consider, like, I've written players off before, and if you do that completely, you're not going to ever see J.K. Dobbins on your roster, or even, like, right. Javonte Williams maybe, meaning not the same stuff, but just, like, saying that this didn't work the first time, or this last recovery, because that's not really predictive, right? So I fall guilty. I fall victim to that often, though, like running a player off. Yeah.
And, like, maybe this is even less about whether you're drafting Jonathon Brooks, because no matter what, the news isn't Jonathon Brooks. He's not going to go real high in a fantasy draft. The best he can aspire to is, like, cool, now he's my 10th round pick. But it might say something about how aggressively you want to be drafting Chuba Hubbard, who, heaven knows, he was probably my most wrong player last year. I planted a flag on him. I thought he looked fantastic. Whether or not he got hurt himself and kind of came back too soon. He did get hurt, but he came back he says too soon, and that's why Dowdle just sort of like always held him off when he was healthy. I'll just say, the topic of this show is, should we pay attention to situation X in August? And I don't really think it's arguable to say that we shouldn't pay attention to Jonathon Brooks' health in August.
No, you have to, and I suppose you framed it, but like I suppose that's the best way to frame it, is that it's really mostly germane to the star and not him, right. but then again, like there was a reason he was drafted. But I have Joel Embiid. Like I just can't trust. Like I have trust issues. So
listen, I mean that's obviously a way August could go, and at that point you go, okay, cool, I'm just going to draft Chuba, and he's probably undervalued, and I'm but anyway, the point being, it does feel like we're starting off with one where it's like, we kind of have to check in every week.
It does.
Yeah,
it matters.
I'm looking for other stuff in Carolina's training camp that I really need to stay tuned into, and it's like, Jim, you're never going to believe this, but I bet Tedero and McMillan is going to look even better as a second-year receiver in camp.
That's what I hear.
Cool. I guess.
Is it best shape of his life, or is it how many pounds did he put on? Which one is it?
For him, it's going to be pounds he put on, pounds of muscle.
Okay,
because,
there you go.
Because he's like 22 years old or whatever, so
yeah.
his life hasn't been very long yet. The only other thing I could come up with for Carolina was they drafted a third-round rookie receiver, Chris Brazzell, and like I did rank Jalen Coker in my top 60 receivers. He's been a little bit of a binky of mine. As a super deep sleeper, I kind of liked him. I don't know. I'll ask you the question, which is to say, is there any news out of Carolina camp that could get you more than like 13th round jazzed about any Carolina receiver not named Tedero McMillan?
Leaning to the no side, Coker, I mean, he's proof that the playoff game did exist, right? Didn't he have like
For
130
sure. He was
yards?
awesome in that game. Yeah,
So he was great, and
Yeah.
he does have some things that stand out. And he was like undrafted, but he's got like ridiculous not catch radius, I suppose, but his ability to get up. Like he's got like some of the best vertical ability. Like he's really aerial. But the other thing is Chris Brazzell. First of all, great Scrabble name, but he's like a stretched out Devonta Smith without the Heisman. I mean, he's like 195 pounds, but he's 6'4", and he has all these things. He's the 6'4", 4'4" guy, but there's a lot of those guys now. He just seems very like Mims, like very like theoretical deep guy. But that's what he's supposed to be. He's a third round receiver. So what am I saying? Yeah, I don't think much could change other than I suppose that Coker just doesn't feel ready for it. If it was like a really bad camp, I don't know what that would mean for their depth chart because they don't really have competition for him. But I suppose it's almost like no news or just a normal camp is best for him. I mean, otherwise they might ruin it for us if they keep saying he's amazing.
We are sponsored by Raycon, the Raycon Everyday Earbuds. I'm wearing them right now as I'm talking with Jimmy. If you want a pair of wireless earbuds with all the features you love and need, and you'd like them for about half the price of other brands, seriously, check out the Everyday Earbuds. You want great sound? They got it. You want noise canceling? Works great. 32 hours of battery life, a quick charge where 10 minutes gets you another 90 minutes of charging, awareness mode, great colors, and half the price of those other brands. I wear my every days, making the show, walking around the city, at the coffee shop. I just got cousin Josh a pair. He's a believer now too. I love them, and I would love for you to check them out as well because they're legit. Go to buyraycon.com/Harris. They're offering 20% off their already low price on the Everyday Earbuds Classic. They've been with us for years. So many Yacht Possums have these. I think you'll love them. They are great. For 20% off, buyraycon.com/Harris. Okay, we're back with Jim, and we are perusing the teams of the NFC South. It's our way of previewing training camps rather than get into the full-blooded takes, which, my goodness, we're going to have so long to give as warranted. Instead, we're kind of previewing by saying what we will and won't be paying attention to when these training camps get going. Buccaneers are next on the list, and I would absolutely love to know what Tampa's plan is for that backfield, because one of my least favorite players in the league, Rachaad White, is gone, and one of my 10th least favorite players in the league, Kenneth Gainwell, has joined. Sean Tucker is still there. Bucky Irving, the sprinter soldier, of course, still there. You know, it's a very interesting mix, and Gainwell as a White replacement is very interesting, and it all has a chance to really affect how fantasy teams work out this year. And I'm not sure I can learn a damn thing about it in August.
No, because Gainwell, you're just gonna I looked up Gainwell a little bit and I saw 3 things about he's this amazing leader, and I was like, you just met him, you've known Baker Mayfield was incredible leader. I was like, what do you mean? And I checked. I literally did this. I was like, you've never been on the same team before, so is this were you in a group chat? What was he leading? In any case, charity softball. But no, I suppose I don't know if that's a slight. I don't think it is. I don't think Baker's saying that that Bucky Irving's a terrible leader. But I haven't met that many leaders named Bucky in my life. I'm not gonna lie. But I will say that it just feels very specialized at this point, and that's not what I thought last year coming in with Bucky Irving, right? We thought I drafted him really high, or I kept him in in our league together. And
Yeah,
so,
large. Yeah.
yeah, at large, I retained him. So that didn't work out that well. But I suppose part of that is his first year as a feature guy. He couldn't handle the workload. All the way to ramble is the main point is that I feel like they tried him out as something more, and he like fell right back. They fell right back into doing the specialized thing. I think they tried to give him more work. Maybe I'm making that up. Yeah, he got hurt, but he got hurt. But the real point is that they really do isolate. Like their third down back, Rashad White's getting 75% of those snaps, and that I think that's going to be Gainwell. So just very kind of annoyingly projectable.
How many times have you gotten the fascist email? How
A
many
lot.
times would you
Like,
say you've
yeah.
gotten it? Would you say like
good number of
about
times.
10 times, something like that?
At least, and I'm still straying. Yeah, it's good.
Still straying? Tell me
good.
what you're going to learn about the situation that you just described in August.
Really, nothing. Other than like if Bucky Irving's healthy would be the only thing. His health would be what I'm watching. Sean Tucker, it just sounds like he like is a good guy. And yeah, Gainwell's just going to be annoying. That's what he is. He's there to like take away your fun.
So I'm glad you brought it up, the health part, because I actually lowered Irving in my running back ranks from when we first posted them, whenever that was, end of April, beginning of May. Exactly because, his injury stuff last year was wild. I don't know if you remember him getting hurt against the Eagles. Do you remember that game?
Was that the shoulder?
He might not. Well, it was interesting because they said he sprained his foot in the game.
Okay.
In the broadcast, they sprained his foot. They said, they didn't sprain it. He said he sprained it. He's ruled questionable to return with an injured foot. Immediately came back in the game and ran for a 72-yard little scramble drill dump off touchdown. And did not look hurt on that play. Made it through the entire rest of the game. Left the stadium in a walking boot, and we were told sprained foot. And then he was out for a long time. And week by week, they kept going, it may not be the foot. It's actually, it's what you said. It actually is a shoulder. This is we're pretty optimistic about the foot, but the shoulder, oh boy. I don't know when he heard it. Clearly he did. I talked about the foot that became a shoulder on the podcast a lot. He came back week 13, and that's a long time to miss.
What if he has a huge foot? Like, it's the biggest foot ever.
They keep mistaking it for a shoulder.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying, that it feels like it's very compartmentalized. And yet when I watched what happened from kind of late November on, they just kind of gave it all back to Bucky Irving. He still came back and took by far the biggest kind of workload. He's getting 20 touches a game, and not that many people get 20 touches a game. This dude's 195 pounds soaking wet. It's the bottom line is here I'm doing it too. We're both veering away from the actual question, which is to say, other than Irving did have some sort of shoulder surgery, I don't know that anybody at this point expects him to be limited, but he's also probably not going to get tackled at all in training camp.
We're not going to find there might not be exposure to that, right?
Yeah, so that's a tough one where I kind of feel like we're take bunkered, wherever you landed when you first started thinking about this stuff, you're kind of just going to be, that's going to be your bunker for all of August, and you're either right or you're wrong. And it's really tough to know. I mean, I think we would both agree, based on what you were saying, that Gainwell we don't consider to be any kind of world beater, despite being annoying in Pittsburgh last year.
Yeah, he's not like this independent variable that I'd want to roster, or that I'd even think that's necessary to roster. Even if I was invested in that backfield, it's just he's annoying. He chips away. I don't know what it is. There's that he trusts him. Again, he's already a leader, and they just met this guy. It's strange.
All right. The other Buccaneer thing that I came up with, is once again, we would love to know how the receivers are going to work out. Emeka, Egbuka, Chris Godwin. They're both, I think, going to get drafted in all leagues. And then, Jalen McMillan had the terribly scary, broken neck in exhibition games last year and missed almost the entire season, but came back at the very, very end. Presumably he's healthy because, while it was career threatening, then it wasn't, because they did bring him back in December. And, there's no Mike Evans, but I don't know. First of all, I'm not going to really care about who's in two receiver sets in Tampa, because that's just not what they're ever going to run. They're always going to have three receivers on the field. And we might just have it wrong, and McMillan might be the right answer, but it'll be really tough in August to kind of definitively pin that down.
To see if he's like an important part of the offense, you're saying? Like if he's
right.
healthy?
Well, I think healthy. I'm okay on healthy. Like we'll get a good sense of
sure,
he's healthy.
We're assuming that.
But no,
right.
It's what you said. Like I think we're gonna be drafting Egbuka first of all way higher than Godwin, and then we're gonna be drafting Godwin way higher than McMillan. And McMillan's a pretty good player, and that order could absolutely turn out to be wrong. It's just going to be a very tough thing to know that we're wrong about it until we see it play out week 1, as opposed to learning anything in August.
Yeah, there's not a ton that's going to change this. I suppose like what I think could change the market, maybe not for me, but what could really change it is like if you just hear Egbuka looks amazing and he's like taking over camp. What I'm saying, but that there is a lot of helium potential, I think, because of the void of Mike Evans. Like the idea is that even if not much changes in terms of like the way this offense is run, the idea being that there's like this void or this candidacy to be like the main guy.
Right. Who gets the end zone the way Mike Evans got the end zone.
Right.
And
it might
gets
not
the
even
deep ball. Yeah.
And that might not even be something that really obviously is that like one player acquires, obviously,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But I do think there's something to be said about like Egbuka's year, right? He had this incredible start, and yes, that was fueled by just the other guys, the older dudes not being available. But then the question is that second half, Mayfield was super hurt, so it's hard to tell, right? Because he had like the accuracy rate of like a punter at that point. Like seriously, like he had the worst on target rate in the league. Egbuka did from week like 9 on. It was like 48% of his targets were on target. I don't love a lot of advanced stats. I don't know who's exactly saying target, but I'm guessing there's just a bunch of like I know he was throwing high and wide all the time last year, and I'm sure that had to do with the AC, the shoulder injury too, though. So, look, that doesn't mean that much, I suppose, other than the fact that I think Egbuka does have the helium here, like that he's the guy. If you hear a lot about him, it's going to change his draft stock. It's not going to change so much what I think. I think he's already.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah,
the guy that I want. Nothing's going to change really what I think so much about this. Because
but he has a chance to get undraftable. He has a chance to get undraftably high.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, and so then I do want to get in on this offense at some point, just because I think that there's enough volume there. I would look at Godwin then. It just seems like a pecking order thing that we're guessing on. So that would be my guess now. And like you said, it's not going to change based on any of this information we're going to see. So no,
right. Yeah. But by the same token, that's true. I can't imagine a lot of excitement from beat reporters about Chris Godwin is gonna really, because Godwin has just burned a bunch of people, and people are gonna be like, ugh, I don't want to do it. He's a good player, and he was a very, very serious injury, and then he got hurt again, and it was hard to come back from, and yada yada. But I just don't think that's gonna do anything. But a camp of, you don't understand. You remember what people were saying about JSN last summer? That's what Egbuka looks like this summer.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Suddenly he's wide receiver 13, and you go, okay, I'm out. I can't do that. I mean, and that might have, my point about wide receiver as we go through all these teams is going to wind up being there's basically like 3 that I trust, or whatever the number you want to, you want tiers at wide receiver. Cool. It's 1 through 3 and 4 through 80. Is that cool? Is that all right? So actually Egbuka at 13 might not be disastrous. It's just not where I'm going to rank him. He had some hands problems, I have to say, Egbuka last year. He definitely got in his head, and Mayfield not have been, but Egbuka he did not get a great hands grade in the forthcoming almanac.
I thought you meant like aesthetically, like that he's
his hands are beautiful.
He's never going to be a hand model like Costanza. So.
Beautiful hands. Let's move on to, you mentioned that you were interested in talking to the Falcons, who have undergone a coaching change, and Kevin Stefanski keeps getting away with it. Never really won anything, but he's got another 5 years to prove something in a different city. I guess paying attention to Michael Penix's potential recovery could be a key to learning and moving some ranks around in August. Let me ask it this way. There are 2 paths in front of you. It's a multiverse. It's a 2-pronged multiverse about the Atlanta Falcons. On the one hand, Michael Penix, as expected, doesn't do very much in August. Everybody kind of assumes, this is going to be Tua Tagovailoa's show for September, and then we'll revisit. There's that fork. And then there's the fork that says, well, Penix is actually ahead of schedule. He's taken a lot of reps with the ones, and there's a pretty darn good chance that he's the starting quarterback week 1 in September. I do think we could learn that. We could figure out which multiverse universe we live in, and would that change your assessment of the rest of the skill weapons on the Falcons?
I think it would. It would. Not that I think it would. I'm saying it would. It would change what I believe. In the sense that, like, going in right now, like you said, like, I assume that Tua is going to start the season, but I also just think, like, first of all, Stefanski looks like the guy on the front of, like, a beard dye package. I say this because like, I've looked into beard dyes and I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I've had a white beard for so long. It'd be so odd. I'd have to explain it to everybody. But in any case, that's what Stefanski looks like. And, like, that guy looks like he makes good decisions, except that he's on the cover of a beard box, right? Like, so it's like, how did you end up here? But the main
wonder you wanted to do. No, I just figured out why you wanted to do the NFC South. It's because you had this whole bit on Kevin Stefanski.
I literally just thought of it when you said his name, because I was like, he's got such like a it looks like he sells like inflatable, not inflatable, like the sprayable rubber stuff. He looks like one of those guys, like with the black beard and
Ryan Day.
Ryan Day. There you go.
Yeah.
Sell me something, my friend. But
the thought here, I mean, I think the thought here being is just, you would be concerned the longer Tua's reign might be in that offense, you think it limits everybody's upside. That's the feeling.
No, I'm the opposite. I like Tua.
Oh, really?
More. Yes.
You prefer Tua?
I prefer Tua. Yeah, I want it cleaner. Like not that I want the report to be that Michael Penix just doesn't like football anymore, or like I don't need him to completely go away. It's more that I just think, like, well, I suppose it's what I'm interested. Like, I get there's more upside, I suppose, with Penix, and like the fact that he throws past 7 yards. The more, I guess, I like the accuracy. I like the predictability. I think it's a concentration offense that I'd like. I think, for example, Bijan would catch like 100 balls. I have no idea what that means, but just like, I think there's more predictability. I think Pitts is better and all these things. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of does Mike McDaniel?
Oh, I see your point. No, I see your point. The last, whatever, 3/4 of a season of Tua in Miami was a death march, but I don't think you'd say, you could paint a story sometime in the future and look back and just say, yeah, they lost Tyreek Hill and half the defense, and, the Dolphins were terrified of having Tua even do a 5-step drop back because they just were worried about him getting concussed, and it just became unworkable. I mean, heaven knows, 3 or 3 years ago, I was in the tank for Tua, no question about it. I get your point. The point is that in these two multiverses that I've painted, this forking paths, one has this huge armed maniac who doesn't seem to be able to throw it to the broadside of a barn, and the other one has this dink and dunk specialist that you kind of at least trust to keep the trains moving on time, and it would at least like change which skill guys you might want to emphasize.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's just a more predictable pattern, and it's kind of what I'm looking for, because I already trust the skill players that I'd like there anyway. I don't think there's much room for anything like else to happen. It's like a pretty narrow bandwidth in terms of, I think, like how well that would work out. It's just that I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. I've seen evidence, and this is not the best way to play fantasy, but I've seen evidence that Tua can be a good quarterback. I just don't know if Penix is even like can get to the league average level, but I'm not sure that matters that much if they're willing to try it. It's just that I don't know. Matt Ryan just seems like he's just like, I don't know. He just like never tried gazpacho or something. Like he's not going to take risks. He's ordering a turkey club, and I think Tua, although Polynesian, like might like turkey clubs too. These guys seem pretty simple. So,
or the turkey mayo, as it were.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde, the turkey mayo. Was he the turkey mayo? I think he was. No, he was banana bread. He was banana bread Hyde.
That works.
So let me ask you, I think the highest drafted Falcon will obviously be Bijan Robinson, and
sure,
he's probably going one or two in a single quarterback league, and I don't think you're going to tell people that if Michael Penix is the quarterback, that means you should never take Bijan Robinson at 2. No. So the guy who it probably influences the most is Drake London, because Drake London's probably going to go in the second round, maybe third round, something like that, see where it shakes out. Whereas you think maybe for Pitts, it'd be better to get Tua as the quarterback. Do you think London also it's better? It's just better for everybody because it gets more predictable?
Well, I just think he's such a winner. Like, he's such a physical receiver. I think he could, like, still win with Tua, just, like, on a different way, like timing and slants and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I've also seen, again, I'm using, my mind's going back to, like, 2 or 3 years ago when there was a vertical offense in Miami that worked. Although I have no idea what level of the Tua we're getting here. Obviously, it's more than likely a much more like a degraded version. Obviously, that's all we've seen. So I still just stick with Tua. I think he's just like the better quarterback timing wise. So
okay, I think I would maybe feel better about everybody if Penix won it because I still just worry that Tua shouldn't even be playing.
Be out there, right.
I mean, boy, oh boy. But this is an interesting perspective. I kind of expected you to come at from the other way. I love hearing the perspective. That's awesome. You mentioned Kyle Pitts. Boy, oh boy. Like this escalated quickly. I think we could say like they gave him the franchise tag. He sprinted so fast to sign it that he did that Looney Tunes thing where his clothes didn't go with him at first. And then they joined him, quickly as he sprinted to sign it. And then within, a month or whatever, he gets the new contract. I imagine, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I imagine that you're not entirely convinced by December of last year when it came to Kyle Pitts.
No, I mean, first of all, he's senior now, which is really big. Things change, He had to change all of his business cards. Think about that. That would take so long.
That really changes the guy. Yeah.
It does. It does. Especially if you have like the really nice like white bone lettering. But no, Pitts, I don't think he's that great at football, basically. Yeah. But I think this situation could be really good for him. That's why I suppose I don't have any I'm not going in like I don't really have many teams with keepers or anything like that. So I'm not going in brooding for any of these things to happen. It's more that I think that would be like the most predictable, fun way. No, I don't know if fun is the way. I don't know if two is fun.
Boy,
but yeah,
I don't either.
I didn't learn anything from that winter escapade from his Lee Evans moment. I didn't.
Yeah, the Lee Evans moment exactly. As of week 12 last year, Kyle Pitts was the number 22 tight end in fantasy. And was not rostered in any leagues. And then, of course, we always tell people, quest for Tonyan, find somebody great. And if you found Kyle Pitts, fantastic. He went crazy. And of course, then he did in the fantasy semifinals. He does 11 for 166 and 3 touchdowns. You definitely win. And then here we go in the fantasy finals, and he plays 92% of the snaps, and he goes 2 catches, 16 yards. Just the perfect chef's kiss moment of Kyle Pitts. The answer about what the new, what we should be doing with Kyle Pitts news in August is obviously, no matter what you think, I mean, I'm ranked tight end 10. I'm not going to get Kyle Pitts. No matter what, even if you're a complete believer and you have him tight end 3 or tight end 4 or something, you should throw any Kyle Pitts news in the circular file. It does not matter. In fact, for our purposes, I think what you said about Egbuka kind of applies to Pitts. Like, there's a chance for the beat reporters to go, guys, You've never seen somebody so ready and changed, and he's a leader on this team now, and suddenly we'll get the Kyle Pitts tight end 2. How are you not taking him ahead of whatever Bowers? I'm in complete stay away mode, and there's really nothing that can happen to me in August that's going to change that. And if anything, I think he's going to get less draftable to me.
Like just as and you mean in terms of like
good news.
What you hear?
Yeah, like
good news. Right,
helium.
Right, exactly. Yeah, right. No, exactly. Yeah, I can see that as well. I'm really excited because I love that dangerous information. It's like just put more out there because I might fall in love with Kyle Pitts. I just going to go back and play this again. I need a reminder.
We are sponsored today by BetterHelp. It's therapy online that can help. So BetterHelp did a survey of 2,000 people in the U.S., and 85% of those people believe that getting support is wise, and that's really good. Unfortunately, 74% of that same sample said that society discourages people from getting that kind of support. So there is still a stigma about it. I'm here to tell you, I do therapy online. I have no shame about it. Having someone to just externalize thoughts to hear yourself talking to. For me, it really helps. I don't think that every single person hearing the sound of my voice this very second needs therapy immediately, but I do think at some point we could all use an independent ear when we have personal stuff going on, when we're grieving, when things are just overwhelming. And BetterHelp is a good place to get help, get matched with a therapist quickly after you take a brief survey, start talking. If the match isn't great, they will rematch you at no extra charge. BetterHelp has almost 2 million client reviews, averaging 4.9 out of 5 stars. Don't let stigma stand in the way of support. Try therapy with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off when you use that URL, betterhelp.com/Harris. That's betterhelp.com/Harris. 10% off, betterhelp.com/Harris. All right, we are back with Jim. We've been having so much fun, and we are talking about the teams of the NFC South, and we have one more to go, and they're fun and interesting too. It is a good division to talk about. I agree with you. The Saints ended the season well, but played a murderer's row of suck in the ending of the season well, so I'm not sure we really should buy all the way in, but they seem respectable anyway. I kind of wanted to start by talking about, do you have any college football experience with Jordyn Tyson at all?
A little bit. I mean, I definitely got into I researched him quite often this draft period. I was pretty into receivers for the Eagles.
Yeah.
So there was a consideration. He felt out of the Eagles' range, but I definitely was into him. He just seems like a theory.
He really
and he's like the Humpty Dumpty of prospects. But yeah. He's exciting. It just I mostly also know about him because I know his brother really well, like Jalen Tyson in for the Cavs. He's like a really good wing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So it's quite an athletic family. It's just the only thing I know about Jordyn Tyson is that he is
couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, he's in an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Yeah, he's Mr. Glass. So.
I mean, he didn't ever run. He didn't do anything in the draft process because he had a bad hamstring. He's also had a knee reconstruction. He's had a broken collarbone. He's had an ankle problem. All this sounds amazing. He does turn into a top 10 NFL draft pick. And say what you want, the top 10 skill guys last year kind of worked out. And so there's a chance for this to work out. And he's not going to cost enough where if somebody wanted to reach for him or even Mekhi Lemon, I'm not going to get mad about that at all. I'm not going to get about Carnell Tate reaching because, again, I think receiver is so incredibly flat. You can kind of just pick your poison. And if you great, you blow your 6th round pick on Jordyn Tyson. I don't look at ADP. I have no idea what his ADP is. It's too early for that stuff. But we blow our 6th round picks all the time. So I'm not going to pound the table and say you're an idiot for elevating Jordyn Tyson. But were one so inclined, what's the kind of stuff that you want to hear about him in training camp?
Availability, right? That he's there, all the time. Just that attendance would be great. I mean, I'm excited about him as a prospect. It's just that I also feel like if he was drafted by the Eagles, you'd hear I would be he's the most healthy, he's amazing. They figured it out. We have a hamstring specialist. He's from Sweden. But really, it comes down to the optimism that would be continue to grow because there is this huge opportunity that I understand people see between the idea of pace offense. I mean, obviously Olave did great last year finishing, but I think the idea is there's a lot of room. And I think what you said is we do follow draft capital for a reason though, because the league does, right? A top 8 skill player gets the ball a lot generally. So I think the opportunities. So what I'm trying to say is I don't think you're going to hear anything that's going to say something about his opportunity changing because they kind of already told us that. It's more about his availability. If you hear he's healthy, he's going to continue to rise. I'll continue to buy, I think, because I'm just into pain in general. But I do think the payoff is there. What you're saying is true, though. I think it's last year's high-end skill players or highly drafted skill players paid off. I think that could happen again. But Egbuka, not receivers-wise, and Egbuka was on the way as well. I mean, he did pay off in a sense, just for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I am probably not going to rank him in a spot, Tyson that is, I'm not going to rank him in a spot where I'm likely to get him. I'm going to guess just because that's how the rookie receiver stuff goes, it's usually just a little too high. I want a little more security in whatever, the wide receiver 2 or the wide receiver 3. But I think that's just my philosophy. I don't think I'm definitively right. I think there's a lot of ways to win, and one of the ways is to stumble upon Tet McMillan at the moment in the 6th round when I'm sitting around taking last year's Keenan Allen or whatever. Like that's a mistake. I need to be taking the higher upside guy. There's theoretically less floor, but there's theoretically more upside just because we've never seen him do it. And you're right. It's going to be worth paying attention to Tyson just to make sure that nothing happens to him. If you get the, missed a couple days with the hip pointer, knee a little sore, we're just taking it easy with him. He's on the side fields. I'm out. That's
what I'm saying. Yes, I would check out, especially if it's like soft tissue. Look, just if it seems like this is Alshon Jeffrey's like friend, then I'm out of here. Like
silly strings and sadness, the hamstrings of old Alshon. And then the Saints backfield. I guess it's one question that will linger until the Saints do something about it, which is just, are you really going to do this with Alvin Kamara? Are you really going to Jim, I've been doing this for a long time. This guy gets cut. This guy gets cut before you get to the training camp. Not before you get to the end of training camp. He gets traded. He gets traded to the Packers because Josh Jacobs isn't available for reasons, or whatever. I know there's no cap savings to getting rid of Alvin Kamara, but there's like $11 million in actual money that needs to get paid, and I don't think the Saints have any design on paying that money and would like to find somebody. It's not guaranteed. So, I have so far in my ranks, in the almanac and everything, I've just basically ignored the existence of Alvin Kamara. As much as I've enjoyed him in the past, he really slowed down last year. Then he got hurt and missed like an ungodly amount of time. This is a hard one to say, what are you paying attention to? Because the answer is, I'm just going to keep refreshing the page on which the Saints say we might keep Alvin Kamara until they stop saying that. But how are you kind of just handicapping that whole August experience in that backfield?
Yeah, it would seem like a clean read with how much they paid Etienne, right? Am I saying it right, Travis?
I'm probably not going to be able to. I'm not going to be able to handle that, but I appreciate your effort.
he's good. I mean, look, correct me when you can. No, he would be entirely annoying. I think it's similar to like Gainwell, except that he's like an institutional Gainwell. Like he's the I don't know, the Troy Aikman of Gainwells. I don't know. Like he's gonna be there. See, look, I look. Maybe I'm wrong, but I looked it up, and Gemini said that they're not getting rid of him. They did. They were like, no, they're not getting rid of him. And then he said something about Sean Payton, and I was like, go away, Gemini.
Would you like to hear about food on the bayou? I can also plan out your.
Yeah. Have you ever? Would you like to watch this movie with Kevin James? I was like, get away from me.
Yeah, I haven't really even. One thing I will have to do if we get to mid-August and Alvin Kamara is still on that roster is I will have to metabolize the idea that he's on that roster, and it will not be great for Travis Steve, and it will be. And I will not really view Kamara as all that enticing an option as many times as I have viewed him as an enticing option. I did not like what he looked like last year and certainly did not feel like he gutted it out. I don't see a way he's on this team. I think they're waiting for either someone to want to trade for him, which no one's going to do with that contract, or waiting for him to say, you know what, guys, sure, I'll pay for $3 million, which he's never going to do. And so, yeah, I think he's getting ejected at the back seat. If there's no Kamara, if we get some sanity in the next month and Kamara winds up being on another team and we get the run up with, Travis Etienne, expensive free agent, had a great year last year, had a really bad year 2 years ago. And then the remainder of what's in that backfield are the various, Devin Neals and knee injury Kendre Millers and yada yada. I would imagine. I would imagine Etienne might get priced out. Our opinion of Etienne probably isn't going to change, and my opinion of him is pretty high. But I could imagine at that point, people start paying attention, and maybe he starts getting priced above what we would want to pay for him.
I suppose everybody needs a Gainwell. what I mean by that is everybody needs like every team has like a helpful somebody to help out your lead back.
Of
And
course.
so I suppose there's an angle here that I would say that Kamara sticking around would be best case if you, or one of the better cases if you wanted to invest in Etienne. I'm going to keep saying, I'm going to keep trying, right?
I guess.
And
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think better than that would be Devin Neal as your backup, because it's what
True,
you said.
true.
He's an
Right.
he's an institutional Gainwell. Like,
right.
people are going to be like, "Yo, man, Kamara needs to play." You lose a game, and suddenly the questions are, "Why is Alvin Kamara not playing more?"
Okay.
And like, I just feel like if that gets completely excised from the, plus Kamara's a good receiver and probably would be the third down back. And
He's competent, right? I see what you're saying. He's competent enough that they would like continue to play him. I suppose I was
Yeah.
thinking like, is there a rogue situation where somebody? But no, they just paid this guy, so there's not. What I meant is that there's a cost certainty to like what Kamara does, but that also is the problem, I suppose, is that they trust that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So I have Etienne 16th among running backs, and not too. That's standard and PPR ish, like right around that area. And that's going to be a third round pick probably. Maybe it's possible he's a fourth. I don't know what the ADP. Again, not looking at ADP. Don't care yet. Can you see a world where Kamara gets excised? They don't add anybody else. They're like, Kendra Miller's knee is okay, and even if it's not Devin Neal was pretty good last shot. You know how Devin Neal got hurt? I forgot how he got hurt at the end of last year. Celebrating.
No.
He scored a touchdown, jumped up in the air, hurt his knee. They never
That's
said
never
it,
good.
but I watched the film, and I'm pretty sure that's how he got hurt. So, like, can you imagine knowing how the fantasy market works, how ADP can shift there in the second half of August? Does Etienne start getting taken RB11, RB12 if there's no Kamara?
I don't know if there's room for that much, but maybe there is because he can. It's kind of fluid there, yeah. Because it's like the Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs world, like Javonte Williams world. So yes, there is a chance, particularly because there could be a drumbeat with this Saints thing. I think like there's a team that there's always teams that people nominate because of the unknown, and there's something to say about the quote unquote hot finish between the young quarterback and everything. You know what I mean? There's momentum entering the season, which is to say that I think there could be a groupthink, which I get in on. I'm saying I think there could be some momentum driving that, and I don't know how high it could get, but just looking at it, because I am looking at it just as reference, like yeah, there is room. Like he could get into a different tier of running back. He could jump from basically a round almost. I would think.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I would be in on him at that price, but maybe at the price that we're currently at, maybe I'll be okay with it. Well, this was very fun to get you on. I'm going to sneak you on in August too. We'll find a night where you can record before a show. But for now, a pleasure to get to talk to you. And of course, you're one of my best friends in this industry and in general. And I don't get to talk to you as much anymore because you are kind of off in another world of being a good person and educating people. But thanks so much for doing it, and say goodbye to the folks.
I will. Goodbye, everybody, and go Birds.
Thank you so much for listening. What a delight to have Jim back on the show, and a delight to have you listening. Before I wrap up, let me thank the 3 sponsors that made today's show possible. We had Lisa, if you're interested in a new mattress. Raycon for these earbuds that I'm wearing, the everyday classics. Really, check them out. They're great, and especially great for the price. And BetterHelp if you're interested in finding somebody to talk to. You can find information in today's show notes about today's 3 sponsors. All the current sponsors are listed at harrisfootball.com. Now remember, if you have an idea or ideas for people or channels or shows or publications you think might be interested in talking with me about my book, Pound Foolish, about football in general, about the morality of watching football, maybe a little bit, the conflict that we sometimes feel between entertainment and whatever else the NFL is, I would love it if you'd send me an email. Hey Harris at harrisfootball.com. I am doing this all on my own this time, and I really do need your help, so any suggestions are very much appreciated. If you're planning on getting the Almanac, you can pre-order right now at harrisfootball.com. I appreciate you so much. Coming up on the podcast on Friday, we'll be talking Jags and Texans and Colts and Titans, the teams of the AFC South, with Dave Kluge. You'll want to tune in for that one as well. Until then, thanks again so much for listening. Your hat is awesome. You're awesome for wearing it. I will talk to you on Friday.
The Harris Football Podcast's opening theme is Under the Gun by Apex Manor. The closing theme is Say Yes by The Wellspring. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and never miss an episode.